If you're using Claude Code right now and you haven't played around with plugins, you're missing one of the best ways to supercharge your Claude Code for zero extra cost. For the past weeks, I've been testing every single plugin I could get my hands on, from the Anthropic official ones to the community built ones to MCPs, and these are the 7 ones I genuinely think everyone should be using. Now, I'm not grabbing these from a random list. These are ones that I actively use every single day inside of my business, and I'm going to show you the real applications of how I'm using them. One of them is allowing me to build full websites with just one single prompt. Another is allowing me to scrape the internet and capture any page that I want to. And another one's allowing me to automate my entire content process by connecting to other tools like Airtable. In this video, I'm going to demo all 7, go over the difference between plugins and MCPs and where you should use which ones. Also showing you how to install every single one of these step by step. Let's get into it. And if you're new to Claude Code, it's essentially just running Claude within your computer. So it could access your files, it could write code, and do a bunch of other things that Claude Desktop or the regular Claude in chat can't do. And now what we're going to cover, which is adding plugins to Claude Code, is just going to supercharge what's already a super powerful tool. And one way to think about it is Claude Code is a phone and plugins are like the apps. Now, obviously, a phone by itself is super powerful. When you add apps to that phone, it becomes 10 times more powerful. Just like Claude Code, it's amazing on its own. When you add these 7 plugins and MCPs, it's going to get that much better. And now let's cover how to install the actual plugins. It's very simple. I'm going to go over how to find the plugins that are naturally already built into your Claude Code in a second. If you find other plugins that other people build, community members, etc., this is all that you're going to type into your terminal. You're going to download the marketplace, and then from the marketplace, you could install the actual plugin. All right, so it's plugin marketplace. Once that's downloaded, then you could install the plugin within that marketplace. All right, so let's head over to the terminal. Here we go. We're going to run Claude, enter, yes. Now we have Claude Code, and these should already be baked in. If you hit \plugin, there you go. Now you have all of these 51 currently plugins that you should already see. All right. And if you have this or you don't have this for some reason, you're going to need to run this, but for Claude's official marketplace. Now you should have these baked in already. If you can't find it for some reason, just ask Claude and it will give you exactly what to put inside your terminal. Now you can see there's all of these different things. Again, I'm going to cover the ones that I like the most, but there's a skill for everything, like Notion. I know a lot of people are using that for Cell to host things. So there's a lot of different things you could do, and this is going to supercharge your Claude Code experience. And at the top here, you have your navigation. So I was just scrolling through the ones in Claude, and you could search them as well right here. These are the ones I've already installed, which I'll be covering in this video. And then these is the marketplace. Like I was mentioning, I have the Claude plugins official. This is officially from Anthropic. Once you have the marketplace, you could download the plugins within the marketplace. If you want to add a marketplace from like a GitHub repo or whatever it is, these are the instructions right here. Again, super easy to follow. You install the marketplace, and then within the marketplace, you could download those specific plugins. And jumping right into it, plugin number 1 is going to be creating a skill creator. This is a foundational asset you should start with because this is going to help you build, validate, package your own Claude Code skills. I'm going to cover Claude Code skills and the ones that I've built and how you could build your own in another video, so stick around for that. But skills live under the plugins. All right, so this is going to help you create skills, and think about this as a meta. So anytime you want to create a new skill, instead of going through this long back and forth with Claude, you'll just call in the plugin saying skill creator, and it'll help you create that skill. And if you're non-technical, the terminology might get to you. Plugins are the hierarchy and skills are under plugins. So a plugin could have multiple different skills and sub-agents and things of that nature, but that is the hierarchy of what we're downloading here. So this is going to help us build skills to train our business on, train sub-agents on, etc. Again, installation is super simple. You're going to head over to the search bar right here, skill creator. There you go right here. Toggle down, hit enter. You're going to install for you for now. There's 3 different options here. I'm just going to install it for myself. And there we go. It's installed. Now you're going to restart your Claude Code in VS Code or restart the terminal, etc. And you can now run this plugin. I just restarted my Claude Code and it's very simple. All I did here is hit /skill creator and it's prompting me to answer these questions. Now mine might look a little bit different than yours because I've added different things on top of the plugins and I made them more tailored to what I want to do here. But it's going to basically prompt you, ask you questions. You're going to answer those questions. And at the end of this back and forth chain of thought between Claude Code and you utilizing this plugin, it's going to create you a skill for branding, for content creation, for marketing, for whatever you could conceive, right? We're running the skill creator and the skill creator of that skill, which is the skill. That's why this one is so fundamental because it's a plugin that helps you create skills. And these skills could create more skills, right? So this is something you should really start with. It's going to make the process of building skills and really fine-tuning your Claude Code experience to you much easier. Also, a little hack for you guys: if you do /plugins, super simple. You can manage what you already have. And also, if you can't get these plugins to work for some reason, do /plugin, go over to installed, and you should see exactly what's running for you. So your MCPs, your plugins, you should see everything right here. If it's enabled, if it's working, if it's not working, this is how you know that things are actually installed correctly and they're running. Next, we have the Playground plugin. This is great for my visual learners out there. It turns Claude Code from this mess in the terminal or VS Code, a lot of words, to something visual that you can actually see. This is great for marketing tasks, which obviously we talk about on this channel all the time. Visualizing landing pages and websites and things of that nature. It's going to make it much more visual for you to actually grasp. To show you guys this plugin, I'm going to go to VS Code and open up a Claude Code instance. If you need to download VS Code, just add the plugin Claude Code right here, and it'll allow you to run Claude Code in VS Code. Just a much better experience, in my opinion. I'm going to call in the Playground using that. Again, you install it just using the way we installed the skill creator, same exact way. And I have a demo prompt for us right here. So I'm just going to copy this in, hit enter, say create a playground for designing YouTube thumbnail text layouts. I want to adjust font size, color, position, shadow, background to see a live preview of how it looks. By the way, if you're watching this video right now, the thumbnail that you clicked on was generated completely by AI, completely. Pretty crazy how we could get to this point. I'm going to let this run right here. Obviously, it prompted me with questions as well. That's why these plugins are amazing, because it's asking you exploratory questions. You can just brain dump and it will do a lot of the work for you. By the way, all of the plugins and MCPs, installation guides, and prompts I'm going to be talking about in this video are down below in the description for completely free. Feel free to download them and follow along. All right, a few minutes later, it did its thing. It actually built the playground in HTML. I'm going to hit yes right here, allow it to actually write the HTML code, store it somewhere on our computer. And now it's going to prompt us to actually open this in something like Google Chrome. Again, taking it from a messy place of code to this. So here we go. This is the YouTube thumbnail text layout using the Playground plugin. And again, you can see it's very visual. So let's say that this was a thumbnail. It would not be a very good thumbnail if this is what the thumbnail was, but we could adjust all of these things here. Let's just do this video. Let's say 7 Claude Code plugins for free. Now, obviously it's overlapping here, so we can play with it a bunch. Put this up here. We will move this like this. Great. Align 2 is right there. Okay. Letter spacing. It's good. And then you can just play with all this. Orange is the company color. So let's do that. Amazing. You can see it's on and on and on. And even gave us a little place to generate prompts, then go back to Claude Code, generate a thumbnail, put it in here, and then edit it. So again, I spun this up with one single prompt. And that is why the Playground tool is so powerful, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to visualize this. Like, how would I visualize this in a massive code block with HTML and all this crazy stuff going on? How many lines is this? This is 1,000 lines of HTML code that I don't know what to do with. So it visualizes it for me. And then what I could do is I could say, hey, I don't like the sliders. I don't like the branding of how it's going. I think there's too much going on. You'll take that feedback, give it back to here. It will rewrite the HTML, visualize it for you again, and you could keep on working back and forth until you have something that's pretty much ready for you to use. So that's Playground plugin. It allows you to visualize things, and you can see how powerful that really is. The next plugin is honestly one of my favorites. It's called Frontend Design, and this is how you could vibe code landing pages, dashboards, websites that don't look vibe coded. They're beautiful things. I have another video on actually how I'm vibe coding websites in like 5 minutes, and they actually work and they look stunning. So you can check that video out on my channel. But this is how it's done. It's called Front-End Design. And the plugin, you download it the same. This is what it could do. So we're going to head back over to Claude Code. We're going to open up a new one. We're going to call in the Front-End Design. There we go. And again, I have a demo prompt for you guys that you could copy in the description. Here we go. Build a client dashboard for my agency that shows active projects, content calendar status, upcoming deadlines. And these are the themes I preloaded Claude with. I highly recommend you dump a brand doc into the project folder that you're building within Claude Code, so it doesn't have to ask you for these repetitive things every single time. So let's let this cook. Let's see what it comes up with. Again, this thing is going to be amazing. It's going to blow your mind by what's possible with one single prompt and the right use of a plugin. All right, now let's see what it came up with. I can say, please open this in Chrome for me. I love the natural language. You don't have to do anything technical. Say yes. Boom, it's going to open up, and let's see what we got. Live reaction here. Again, insane. So this is a project management software that is sort of schemed up, or dashboard might be more accurate. Now, something I just noticed right here, and let's do this live together, is I can't click into the actual projects, calendar, analytics, YouTube, etc. Now, for the look, the UI is amazing. And I want to go back to what we were just talking about. This skill is front-end design. Front-end, which is the actual layout, that's what it's optimizing for. So it might not do the back-end correctly. Like, for example, it should have written code to open these things up, but that's not its job. The plugin's job is to make things look visually stunning, and this is pretty great. Content section right here has manage clients, settings, and then an overview of everything that's going on in the company, which I think is pretty sweet. So It did its job, front-end design. If you want to build this into an actual website, you would have to probably call in other plugins, which are better at code. But that is exactly how you use front-end design, one of my favorite, most slept-on plugins in my opinion. Now going to number 4, we're getting a little bit more technical here. This is called Playwright. Now this is basically your eyes and hands on the web. It will allow Claude to open browsers, fill out forms, and screenshot and extract data. Claude, for some reason, can't scrape data the normal way. Sometimes there's blockers and a bunch of stuff that happens. You could take a screenshot using Playwright and capture that same data. So if you can't scrape it one way, you could take a screenshot and still get the same data, which is insanely powerful because you could basically scrape anything, all right? So if we go back over to VS Code, open up a Claude instance, I'm gonna hit backslash, and we're going to go Playwright. Oh, and it's not recognizing it. So a little hack for you guys, if you do plugins, again, here, you can see exactly what's going on. So you can see all of my plugins, and you can see Playwright actually isn't enabled. For right now, what we've built is not very compatible with Playwright, so I actually had to turn it off. But if you want a demo for it, I will make a video on it. It's just not working in our current workflow. What we used to use it for is scraping every single thing. Honestly, it ended up scraping too much and it ended up dragging out our sessions. That's why I turned it off. But it's super powerful if you're just trying to scrape things that for some reason you can't grab, like analytics, competition on content, all of those types of things. All it does is open up its own browser live for you, which is pretty cool. It does the thing, it screenshots it, and then it gives that data back to Claude so you could proceed with whatever you wanted to do. The next ones are not necessarily plugins, they're actually MCPs. For the sake of empowering Claude Code to get more out of your work, they essentially do the same thing, they just make it super powerful, all right? And the technical difference here, to distill it down to like things that non-technical people might understand, which is me, like I had to learn this stuff the same way. So if you're not technical, don't worry. Plugins are like courses, right? They just upskill the person. This is knowledge for Claude Code to act upon. So now when you give it the skill creator, it's good at creating skills. When you give it front-end design, it's now good at creating front-end design. MCPs, on the other hand, are giving Claude access to external tools. So this is giving Claude Code real live data from Airtable and Firecrawl, things we're about to cover right now. So plugins are like the training material. MCPs are like the key cards within the training material. It gives you real examples, real live data, and things of that nature. Super, super powerful to connect every single thing that you're doing in Claude Code. So it becomes like your workspace for your entire company. That's what it's become for us. And MCPs really help bridge that gap and empower Claude Code just like plugins do. And the first MCP we're going to talk about is Firecrawl. This is just helpful for web scraping, crawling the internet, and scraping pretty much anything that you need in a structured way. This is super, super important here, guys. Extract structured data. A lot of you guys are scraping things on the internet, building competition scrapers and SEO and all these amazing things. Structured data is super, super important because AI works with structure. Like if your data is all a mess, you're going to get a mess result when you build on top of it with AI. So structured data is what Firecrawl is really, really good at. Here's how to install the actual MCP. So here, just open up another Claude Code chat in the terminal. I'm going to hit /MCP, manage my MCP servers, and you can see everything here is connected. Here is my Firecrawl, and it is connected, which is awesome. If you don't have this MCP or any MCPs downloaded into Claude Code, all you're going to do is run this command in Claude Code, Claude MCP, add Firecrawl, and then this technical stuff right here. Claude Code will then command you and ask you for approval to download the MCP. I already have it, so I'm not going to do that. But to find these, just go to Claude Code Official or just Google up any MCP Claude Code. Make sure it's an official website. It'll have the install link right there. Throw that in the terminal, and it will allow you to download these super quickly. I also just showed you how to check to make sure it is downloaded. So if you hit /MCP, it will say MCP, so Firecrawl, for example, connected with a green check. So that means you're all good. And an example use case for Firecrawl is you could tell it to scrape your competitor's blog. It will give you the blog, it will give you the word count and structured data, and then you can recreate that blog for yourself, fill in content gaps that it's missing, fill in keywords that it's missing, etc. Firecrawl will just scrape any single website that you need and make sure the data is structured so you could do whatever you want with it. Next, we're moving over to Airtable, another MCP. Allows me to connect my Claude Code directly to my database in Airtable. Airtable is where I store all of my content ideas, so I'm able to now talk to my content command center using Claude Code. This is the Airtable system that I've built out for my YouTube. It's pretty in depth. I have a knowledge base in here. I have my content ideas. I use this for YouTube for 2 years. It's gotten me over $100,000 from my agency. It's made our clients over $500,000, millions of views. This is my go-to for content. Airtable is amazing. If you want a demo of the system, feel free to check it out down below. People are crushing it with this system right now. But now, instead of me manually going through it, I could go to Claude Code and ask for insights and actions on behalf of Airtable. For example, I could do something like this. Using the Airtable MCP, can you see how many content ideas I currently have and what the priority of each one is? I want to just make sure that I have enough content ideas to last me for the next 2 months and what's the highest priority for me right now. So I'm going to give that, and it's going to reference the Airtable MCP, which is what I just showed you, and they're going to talk to each other. So I'm going to hit yes right here. It's going to go through and do all of these things. And if you want to install the Airtable MCP, it's the exact same way you install the Firecrawl MCP. Google it up, grab whatever it tells you to grab, throw it into the terminal, install it, and it'll be good to go. For the Airtable MCP, you might need an API, which is again not too complex. Claude will walk you through the entire thing. And you can see Airtable is checking for an API, which I already gave it. So that is something you'll have to do. Super easy. Go to Airtable, generate the API, give it to Claude Code. It will do the rest. And just like that, I have an entire summary of my Airtable and exactly where I am. For example, I have the videos that I need to make. I have a lot of video ideas, and these are the ones I'm waiting on for my team. So I'm waiting post-production for 2 videos from my team. They're just editing, doing all the things that they need to do. Let's see if this is accurate. So these are the 2 videos right here. Claude Cowork now allows you to run tasks while you sleep. I built 3 websites in 10 minutes with Claude Code. So if I go over to my Airtable and I go over to videos and pending edits and thumbnails, I should see those 2 videos. And there you go. These are the 2 videos that my team is currently working on. Okay. So again, it's pulling that live data, which is amazing. And something that it can also do, if I run a skill, again, I cover skills in another video called YouTube. There it is, batch produce YouTube. What it will do is, depending on what I want to do, it will take all 44 of these content ideas in parallel and generate every single thing for them. The scripts, the thumbnails, the research, the titles, it will do every single thing if I run that command, only because it can access my Airtable to even see what to do in the first place. So it's a super powerful way to organize every single thing. Airtable has been amazing, and now this just empowers me to use it that much better. And last but not least, we have plugin number 7 called Superpowers. Just by the name alone, you should know it's powerful. I'm not a developer, and I know a lot of you guys aren't either, but speaking of developers on my team, this thing is insane. What it essentially helps you do is you'll have a dev when you call the plugin. You'll have a developer with structured workflows, brainstorming, debugging. You'll have all of these things within this superpower. I can't even tell you how powerful it is, but for my team, when they use it in Claude Code, which we're running this in all of our sessions to make sure everything is good, they say it's one of the best plugins out there just for code and structure's sake. It also has 29K GitHub stars, so it wouldn't have this much engagement if it was a bad tool. So again, how you install it, go to /plugins, and you can natively download it like I showed you many times in this video. And when you stack all of these plugins together, you get a compounding effect. Like, this is not linear. When you stack all of these and use them, you get this exponential curve in what you're able to do every single day. And again, these were the plugins that I covered, also some MCPs as well. Highly recommend you start with a skill creator and then just go from there. For my people that do marketing, which is all this channel is about, really download the front end design one and the Playwright as well. Will just help you catch your data and then visualize data as well and build really cool landing pages and websites and things that I cover in my other videos. So make sure you check those out. And that is all I have for you guys. If you want the plugins and the demo prompts and everything I covered in this video, they'll be down below for completely free. Make sure to check those out. Check out this video next, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.